I'll be here, but we need some volunteers who will be here at 5 o'clock to help serve. And then those of you who say, I can't be there at 5 o'clock, it's just, I can't handle it, I can't do that. That's okay. Then when you get here at 5:30 or 5:45, we will need you to come in, please, and help clean things up, wipe tables off, and carry out the trash. It should take just a few minutes for the whole group. It's not a big deal. So we probably need, I think they're saying 4 to maybe 5 servers at the best, so not a big group. And then we'll need some folks to help clean up at the end and do that. And a few of us doing that, heck, it can take 5 or 10 minutes, won't take any time. So that'll be easy. So who thinks they can volunteer? You don't got to commit 100% today, but who thinks they can be here and do that? Okay, a few of you could. Well, that's enough to get started at least. So great. So just remember that. That's going to be the first Wednesday of every month, so we will all have a chance to serve. Because, gang, ultimately, Christianity is about serving. That's why Jesus came and he served. He did lots of serving. We'll talk about messages. He did lots of serving. So that's what this is about. So that's what we do on the first Wednesday of April, which I don't remember what the April 6th. Thank you, Chris. That'll be April 6th. So just, what's that, 3 weeks away roughly? So not long. So keep that in the back of your brain. We'll need those volunteers. Appreciate you guys. Aside from that, next Wednesday, that's right, spring break. We will not be here, but Thursday is still the concert. But there will be no church services here at Woodland next Wednesday, taking spring break off because a lot of folks traveling things and just taking a day off. So no service next Wednesday. Aside from that, I think that's all the announcements right now. So with that, let's go into prayer request real fast, and we'll get into, and I don't mean to rush it, but we're going to do prayer request, and we'll get into letting Mark do some worship. So anybody got a prayer request? How's Silas?
As you've already heard recently, my dad has gotten a heart attack, and he's on rehabilitation, I think, at least. So we need to pray for him to get past that.
Sure.
Not get another heart attack.
Absolutely. Dad with a heart condition, sure. Yes, ma'am. Surgery, okay. A lot of y'all know Chloe, my youngest one. She's in here quite a bit with Jada and some of them. Today she was at work, and she might be embarrassed if I told you. She shouldn't be. It shouldn't matter. But at work, she works up at Big Cedar at one of the restaurants, outside on a deck serving, and we hadn't called an umbrella. Pulled the umbrella out. It was supposed to be bolted out. It was not. And the umbrella come and hit her in the back of the head pretty hard. And they sent her home because she might have a concussion or something. They a couple big knots on her head, and so it hurt her feelings too, of course, besides hurting her head. So you'll just remember Chloe. I think everything's fine. She's home and seems fine, but that's why Brenda's not here now. She's home with her just to be sure. Anybody else? Okay. Well, hey, let's go ahead. Let's stand up as we pray because it's important. This is a big deal. Let's stand up, pray, get ready to do worship here. Marcia will come up. Lord Jesus, thank you for this beautiful and awesome day you've given us. God, the opportunity to come service you tonight, to come be here in service for you, to learn more about you, to draw closer to you, as we're going to talk about relationships tonight, God, and the importance of that. We thank you for this opportunity, God, the request we've made here tonight, from heart situations, surgery, God, head injuries, whatever it may be, other requests that we may not have said, God, that you're going to work in every one of them with your healing hands, your grace and your mercy. We thank you for it. In your mighty name, as we go to worship, amen. Oh, does it? Well, awesome. Well, Nate's got an icebreaker. More fun. All right.
Hello. Good afternoon. So today I have a pretty simple one. There is a prize at the ending, so it'd be cool if all you guys participated. Golden, come up here real quick. So we're going to break up into groups of 2, and then we're going to keep going until the last man standing, basically. It's a fight to the death. No, I'm joking. It's not that. It's a joke. So we're going to play rock, paper, scissors, snake. It sounds a little different. It's basically rock, paper, scissors, but let's say if we're playing. Okay. He lost, so he's going to grab my shoulders, and then I'm going to go to the next one. And then if you win, I'm going to grab your shoulders, or if I win, you grab his shoulders. And we'll keep going until it's a big snake. Yeah. It's going to be cool. So, we'll everybody split up into groups of 2, please. Please. Come on, let's go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, guys. And there's a prize at the ending. Come on, Chloe. on. Okay. Everybody ready to go? Are you guys not playing?
Stuck in the dreams, so I keep sleeping. So no I feel no pain at all. So let's just wait for
Okay. Everybody who's playing is playing, right? You guys not playing? Okay, anyways. Let's go. Let's start. Rock. Okay, wait. Everybody needs to get ready. Okay, rock. Paper. Scissors. Shoot. Or you guys do it at your own time, because I'm going to mess you guys up. Okay, go. Okay, keep going. Find somebody else. We got some snakes here, guys. Slithery little snakes. Okay, you got somebody behind you. Let's keep going, guys. How many people's left? Woo! Oh my. Okay, wait, how many people do we have left? Okay, 1 second, they're gonna do a... Okay. Oh, wait, never mind. Did she win? Yeah.
So can we take just a moment? Can we take just a moment with you? It's where I wanna be.
Did you win? Wait, Leonie, did she beat you? Oh. Yeah, you won. Woo! Wait, what's your name? Charlie? Charlie won? Everybody give her a hand. Hey, Charlie, come here. Here you go. You won a card. Anyways, Mark. Papa Mark's gonna come up here and do some worship, so everybody stand up and get ready for that. So yeah. Just waiting for Mark, that awkward transition. I'm saying, Silas. Here we go.
Thanks, Nate. Here comes Mark. Let's worship.
So you think we should call that Snakes on a Train? That's too boring. Alright. Well, that was definitely an out there version of Rock, Paper, Scissors. I liked it a lot. Yeah, appreciate it, Nate. Alright, we're going to start with some songs here. You guys might not know this first one, but I really like it. It's called Cannons by Phil Wickham. And I just was thinking back, I was looking at songs, and I remember this one back when I was at youth camp, your guys' age, and there's this band called Summer Hill, and they played it, and I thought it was so cool. It's a really simple song, just kind of proclaiming God's power and how nature just kind of proclaims His name. The moon and the stars declare who He is, and it's just it's a really good, simple song, so I hope you guys like it.
Straight let's sing about the music of universe plays. Sing it out. Singing you are holy, great and mighty. The moon and the stars declare who you are. And I'm so unworthy, but still you love me. Forever my heart will sing of you. All glory, honor, power is yours. Amen. All glory, honor, power is yours. Amen. All glory, honor, power is yours. Forever, amen. Singing you are holy, great and mighty. The moon and the stars declare who you are. I'm so unworthy, but still you love me. Forever my heart will sing of you. Singing you are holy, great and mighty. The moon and the stars declare who you are. I'm so unworthy, still you love me. Forever my heart will sing how great you are.
Some of you guys should know this one. We've seen it a lot before, Waymaker. One of my favorite things about this song is the bridge. It talks about even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't see it or feel it, God is still there working in the midst of everything. Because sometimes it can get really sad in life and you don't think things are going the way it should go, but regardless if it makes sense to you, God is still working in the situation. Let's lift him up.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keep, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keep, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, turn our lives around. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, in every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keep, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Whoa, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keep, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. That is who you are. don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Whoa, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Sing it again one more time. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
That's great. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, as we come to you tonight and we just give you all the worship and praise. Thank you for being the way maker, for just guiding us on our path and just always being there for us. And just as the verse says, I just thank you for always working in our circumstances, even when we doubt you, even when we're afraid. I just thank you that we can always trust in you. I just pray that you be with Danny as he brings a message, and that you would just speak through him. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here we are. It occurred to me a while ago, while Mark was doing worship, I got to believe at this point, y'all don't know yet, and I'm going to tell you, that Satan doesn't want us to talk about this tonight. Because this afternoon, I told Silas a while ago, this afternoon I was getting ready to print my notes out for tonight, and I got on my computer, opened it up, and I looked, pulled up my notes, and over half the message was gone. And I was like, what the heck? Where my stuff at? And okay, I started typing it. I thought, wait a minute, let me look a little bit. Got on my computer, went into my OneDrive, and I found a copy in OneDrive. It was saved in OneDrive, so I saved it, and that was good. Then, while Mark was doing worship, I get phone calls from a good customer who never calls me and bothers me about things, especially not when he knows I'm a youth pastor. And I've got 2 calls from him because there's a major problem with an order they're getting in Theodosia right now. And he had to talk to me about that, just distractions. And it's like something's going on. So, with that being said, we started a new series last week about struggles. There are struggles sometimes in all of our lives, right? We talked about contentment last week, being content with things we've got, didn't we? And we talked about, if you've noticed, kind of a theme with me, how social media and our phones, and there shouldn't be any phones out right now, by the way. Y'all should all have your phones put away. You know that, of course, knowing me. But we talked about how that social media, I believe, is one of the biggest problems we have, causing these problems, causing our pains and our issues and our wants and things we shouldn't be looking at, things we shouldn't be wanting, causing us to be unhappy a lot of times. So, you may be able to say, well, Danny, there's a reason to have social media. We talked about last week how you can save your pictures on it, like Misty does, Brenda does. I mean, we got our history there, so it's all safe. Nothing will happen to it, right? There's always good, but, the points I make about it, you'll find, though, are usually pretty valid, aren't they? About how it's affecting us. There's good and there's bad in everything, right? And we got to know that. So, 2 weeks from now, because we're not here next week, y'all remember that? We're not. We're out because of spring break. But 2 weeks from now, we're going to talk about probably the most important one in this series, I think, and that's about authenticity. Because I think a lot of us live very filtered lives. I think it's very common for us to use filters. I mean, I see memes all the time and videos all the time on Instagram places of people, this is what you would look like in a Disney movie, this is what you look like in, your filters things, right? I bet you look a certain way with a certain thing, right? You look perfect here and you don't here, you look old here. And we live very filtered lives. So being authentic is not very common these days. Most people are very careful what they post. Very careful, get the right background, get the right light. My hair is just the right way. Everything, I've watched some of the girls in here, and some of them are not here now, so I'm not going to call them up and pick on them like that. But I've watched them doing their little video, using their hand signs and all things, and all different angles and things, and just over and over and over to get the right one before they send it. It's just, we're very cautious, we're very careful. We want to post things that look just right and be just right? So, it's kind of like what I mentioned Sunday morning. We like to put our highlight reels on video, not the behind-the-scenes stuff, right? We don't want people to see our behind-the-scenes things, just the highlight reels, the good stuff. That's kind of what we are with media, and that's one of the problems with it, right? So, that one's going to be big. You might want to bring a friend, because that's going to be a good one. However, tonight, we're going to talk about intimacy in relationships. Some of y'all are in relationships. We all should have a relationship with Jesus Christ. So we're going to talk about intimacy in relationships. The simple fact is, too much social media can hurt or even destroy a relationship. And that's with another person or with Jesus Christ. It can go both ways. Now, I'll agree with you guys that there is a place for social media. One of my little girls, and my girls aren't little, but they're your guys' age, or a little older, they send me a message on social media about how much, Dad, I love you, thank you for this. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of heartwarming, right? There's a place for media. You can contact family far away and see when somebody's ill or sick or hurting or something, or just talking, whatever. People you wouldn't normally see, there's a place for it. But then again, there's a lot of social media that's too much in our lives. And it can actually damage the plans God has for us. And because God has a plan for all of you in relationships, believe it or not even. He's got your whole life worked out. He's got a plan for every bit of it. Who you're going to be with, how many kids you're going to have, He's got a plan for all of it. But social media can really mess with that. It can really change that up. It can. Look at what Jesus said in John. Now keep in mind, this is where Jesus had just washed the disciples' feet. I don't know if y'all ever done that in a real church situation. It's designed to be a humbling experience, to give you humility. You wash somebody's feet. That's pretty humbling, right? Especially if it's a stranger in church, right? So it is, and Jesus has just done this. Now, he said here in John 13, verse 34 and 35, a new command I give you, love one another. As I've loved you, so you must love one another. Next verse, Chris. By this, everyone will know that you're my disciples, if you love one another. Now, how often today do you think people really show love for one another? Have you guys, you're on media and you see, of course I'm on TV and see the news, you know that. When I see people in places where someone gets beat up, a girl gets raped on a subway platform or on a sidewalk, and people stand around and watch. These things happen Is there any love anymore? Do people really love one another? Because I can remember a time when that wouldn't have happened. Somebody would have stopped it. But not anymore. Things have really changed in that direction. I do like what he said there. You know, I mean, a lot of good stuff as far as love one another, and that's how you know who you are. They'll know your disciples because of your love. But I really like what he didn't say better. If you let's look there and let's think about that. I like the fact he didn't say, they'll know you're my disciples because you memorize my word. Because they wouldn't know me then, would they? Would they know you? Or he could say something like, they'll love you if you have perfect theology. If you're perfect. Wouldn't know me, right? He didn't say, they'll know you're my disciples if you always go to youth on Wednesday nights and church on Sunday mornings. Then they'll know you're not my disciples. He didn't say that. He said, simply because you love one another, they'll know. How many of y'all have ever met, show your hands real quick, how many of you met a person that just their countenance, and you know what countenance is, I'm talking about their persona, their smile, their joy, their happiness, you just see it all over them when you see them. Y'all know somebody like that? Anybody? Several of you guys, most of you raising hands? But chances are those people are Christians. Chances are they are. They probably wouldn't mind if you ask them either. By the other hand, people who are always down and everything always, life sucks, and everything's bad, and everything's terrible, they're probably not Christians. Because they're not showing any love. They're showing misery and pain. The love of Christ would be that you are happy with what you have. We talked about last week contentment. You're happy with what you have. You're happy with what you've been blessed with. You're happy with your looks. You're happy with your house, your car, your clothes. Well, everything you've got, you're happy because God allowed you to have it. Therefore, you have a joy about you because you know you're blessed. Not those people who are like, man, this sucks. I mean, why can't I have something like they got? Why can't? I mean, those people, they don't know Jesus. They don't. He didn't even say, they'll know you're my disciples if you got a Woodland fire sticker on your car. And some of y'all who drive don't need to have a Woodland sticker on your car because you don't drive very well. You know what I'm talking about. They're going to know us as disciples by the way we love each other, by the way we treat each other out in the world. If me and Leonie are making a business deal, I don't cheat her when she turns her back and just goes the other way. I don't cheat her and do some take from her, take extra from her. I honor the deal because I'm a Christian and she is, and we treat each other that way. There was a time in this country, back in the old days, when two men would shake hands on a deal, and that was it. That's good enough. No lawyers needed, nothing else. That made the deal. That was it. And that's rare today. There's still a few that do it, but that's rare. Just because people have changed. They don't have the same love for God, the same love for authority, and the same love for each other. They're missing it. So, since y'all know I like to pick on social media, let's talk about 3 things that are being changed by technology today about relationships. 3 things. These are all very relatable for you. Number 1, the term friend is an evolving term. You know what I mean, right? When I was growing up, I had friends. My friend was the guys that I'd call and say, hey, you can go ride bikes? And he'd say, yeah. We'd come ride bicycles. We might go out and build a couple ramps, and I might lay down under the ramp and let him jump over me. Then he might do the same thing backwards. We were friends. We trusted each other. We cared. We had fun. We were friends. We hung out. We might go out and on a ride in a day with snow ice on bicycles and crash on bicycles. And I came home one time, my pants legs froze stiff because they got ice and water all over them, and I froze stiff before I got home. I mean, but we had fun. We were friends. We always had each other's back. Somebody wanted to fight with us, we had each other's back, that sort of thing. We were friends. We did stuff together. We did life together. Now, the term friend today on Facebook, does it sound like that? And let's face it, everybody knows the Facebook term friend. I mean, just a week or so ago, I do get on media. Y'all know that. I've got a phone. I get on media. And I do it. I'm looking for everything from We do youth events. I look for guys on side-by-side events and things. And I saw this guy saying there was some places right over at Norfolk, Arkansas. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. I said, well, so I messaged this guy. I don't know who he is. His name's Lance. And he's a guy about my age probably. And I messaged him. I said, hey, there's trails over there. I said, I'd love to come see those sometime. Would you care to show me around? Because I know nothing about that. I don't know that. He said, sure. And he sends me a friend request. Now he's my friend. I never met this guy. If he walked in here tonight, I wouldn't know him. But he's my friend now on Facebook. And I'm going to go riding with him. So if I don't come back sometime, y'all might look for a guy named Lance. Over at Norfolk, a guy named Lance. So if I disappear, y'all know. I mean, a friend on Facebook is somebody you've had interactions with anywhere on the planet, just on media. You saw their picture, you sent them a request, and they answered back and said, yeah, you're my friend. You've never talked, but they can be your friend, right? It can happen. This guy, with me, that's very much the case. We're friends now. The average Facebook user has about 330 friends in America. About 330. That's about what I've got, around 300 some odd friends. I didn't even know that. Like I looked when I saw this, and I said, well, that's about what I'm pretty average, I guess. I'm pretty average. I know some people have 2,000 friends, 3,000. I'm like, really? 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 Because the average American, when polled, see if you're average, the average American, when they're polled, says they have 2 close friends. 2. That depends on how you define a close friend, I guess. What is a close friend? But the average American says 2. 25% of Americans say they have 0 close friends. 0. And honestly, if you polled me, well, I've got folks that I consider good friends, like these guys in here, and heck, I consider some of y'all my friends. I mean, but as far as what I would consider a close friend, I'm not sure I could say 2. As far as what I would consider a close friend. Someone that I would tell my deepest secrets and things and all. I mean, besides Brenda, of course, I'm married to her. I don't consider her a friend. She's not a friend. I got a contract with her. Don't tell her I said that. Two decades ago, just 20 years ago, right before all y'all was hatched, the average American said they had 6 friends. Said they had 6 close friends. Now it's 2, and 25% say 0. What's happening? I thought things were getting better. I thought media was making the world better because we're all connected. I thought everything was getting better. What's happening? Why did it go from 6 to 2 to 0 in just 20 years? In terms of human history, 20 years is a real short time for that to happen. Why? If it's so good. You see what I'm saying? We can have lots of online interactivity and yet have very little intimate interactivity. Because there's a difference, y'all. There's a difference. Number 2, we're becoming addicted to immediate affirmation. You post something and you get a like. I mean, that's why y'all do it on Snapchat and things, right? You just throw out a picture and post it, somebody like it. I mean, if I were to take my phone here, and y'all don't ever use my phone here, but I'm going to try. If I come up here and said, hey, let's do a selfie here. All right, it's an ugly selfie, but I did a selfie. If I were to post that on media, I bet before we got out of here tonight, a little over 30 minutes, I bet I'd have some likes. What you want to bet? Somebody'd like it. So it's just 1/4. It makes you feel good to take that selfie and somebody like it. It releases a chemical. It's one of my favorite chemicals. It's a drug, if you will. It's called dopamine. I like it because you get it riding roller coasters. Your brain releases dopamine, and I like to ride roller coasters. But it also happens when you do things that you like, you enjoy. It releases that and makes you feel good. It's a natural drug God gives you. So it can be anything. You know, like I may post a picture and be like, get my pictures. Y'all doing this, of course, not me. I don't ever do this, but y'all do. But just imagine if I did. And somebody posted and said, "Ooh, I like your hairstyle. Nice hairstyle. Ooh, I like that new shirt. I like your new outfit," or whatever. Or what did that say? They like you, right? They think you look good. I mean, I have had the interaction a time or two where someone posted on mine, "Oh, Danny, looking good." And it's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Well, just somebody I know." Well, why'd they post that? And there we go. So it's easy to get disappointed and frustrated when you don't get those things right. We require immediate affirmation. If somebody posts stuff and somebody doesn't like it, you're like, "Oh man, let me do another one. Do something different. That wasn't good enough. I need to change it, right?" I told you, I told you last week, how when I go riding, this one friend of mine's got a professional camera and takes all the pictures, and we'll post them, and when Jackie posts his, he'll get like 75 likes. And when I post mine, I get like 4. And I'm like, dude, I post good pictures too. We're on the same ride, doing the same things. But he gets better pictures. And they look better. And he posts a lot more of them. I mean, I may post 6 pictures, he posts 90. So he gets a lot of likes. And in a way, I could tell you, in a way, I'm kind of like, well, dang, they like Jackie's pictures more than mine. I really don't care, but in a little way, I kind of do, I mean, I'm competitive. I like to be winning all the time. I like to be on top. So when we get likes and affirmation, it meets a need in our mind because we need that. Science has a name for it, for what it does. When we get a like or a thumbs up, it's meeting a short-term need. And science has researched this. And when we get that information, we post something and get immediate likes. People start liking it. It defers our loneliness to a later time. Instead of us sitting there saying, "I don't know anybody. Nobody's looking at nobody. I mean, I only got 150 friends. The average is 330. And instead of all that, when we start getting it, we're like, oh. And instead of feeling that gets pushed a little further down the road because we feel good. The dopamine runs and we feel good. And then what happens is a little later down the road, it hits us. Oh, man. I mean, I got to figure out something, do some new pictures, something. I mean, I need to change my profile picture. I got to do something, right? It is actually called deferred loneliness is the scientific term for it. When we get our pictures, we get our likes, and people are like, yeah, good. Oh, I mean, you look awesome. That's great. Bet y'all had fun. That looked like fun and all that. And we're like, yeah, it was. Well, then the next day, we're kind of off the high, if you will. And we're like, okay, life sucks again. I mean, it's kind of where we're at. It defers the real need of an intimate relationship. We still need it, but we can wait a little longer because we got some likes. I've told all of you, most of you have been here long enough, you've heard me say it, every one of us, your friends, neighbors, buddies, pals, family, everybody has a hole in here. And it's the size of the relationship of Jesus Christ. Relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what that hole is. Without that, you will never feel completely satisfied. You will never feel completely happy. You will never have that joy without having that inside you. An imitation won't work. You faking it won't work. You have to have it to fill that hole up. That hole is inside us, and it, like getting all the likes and all the buddies on social media and all, that'll help for a little bit. It just pushes a little further down the road till you stumble into it one day. We live for likes, and it's changing the way we do relationships. Number 3, we have the power to do friendship on our own terms. Isn't that the great thing about social media? If you post a goofy selfie, I can scroll over and ignore it. If you post something I don't like who you voted for president, I scroll over and keep it. Matter of fact, I may block you for that one. Because I'm real political, y'all know that. So, we have complete control. If I don't like the way you act on social media, I don't like things you post and say, I just block you, unfriend you, because I don't know you really. I don't care. My friends, I wouldn't do that, but I would when you post those things I don't like. I've got control. I've got all power, and I like having power. I mean, I get to decide if you're worthy of me double tapping the screen for a like. You know, maybe you're not. Maybe you're not worth a double tap. I have complete control. You all do too. Have you thought about that? You've got control of it. I can skip over them. If you post another cat picture, I'm probably going to block you. I'm about tired of cat pictures too. If you keep posting selfies, those weird ones where you put the crazy filters and your lips look twice as big as your face and all those things, I don't see those either, so don't post them. I don't see those either. I'll skip over those too. I'll block you on for that too. I don't like those things. It's silly. It's goofy. No, I ain't going to put a face like that on there. That ain't happening. I watched an interview with some college seniors. They were all Christians, church-attending seniors. And they did an interview. And they were asked about social media in their life and how it affected their life. These are just guys a little bit older than you, not a lot, but a little bit older than you. So they have very similar experiences. And one of them said, the more I use social media, the more I crave personal interaction. The more I want to be with people. I do the media, but I want to go hang out with some friends. I want to spend some time with somebody. That's what one of them said, one of the leaders of the group. The second one said, I feel more connected than I ever have before. There's more out there, I'm connected to more stuff, and I see more stuff, and it's more, and I feel more alone than I've ever felt in my life. I got all these friends on media, but I really don't have any friends. Because the average American has how many? And a quarter of them have how many? 0. Because he feels alone, because you know what? The online junk don't make up for real life. And this is what kills me. I've watched you guys, and other teenagers, not just you. I've watched you guys with things on media, and it kills me. So before I get to that, let's talk about, though, they said they would like to know how to get from where they're at now to where they really need to be. Because social media, they felt like it was dominating their life. So I'm going to give you 2 things. We're going to talk about that. But first, in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24 and 25. Let us think about ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our commenting on each other's posts. No, that's meeting together. Forget about commenting on posts, right? As some people do. But encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. And y'all, if you ain't watched the news lately, it's coming. It's getting close. That ain't no joke. It's getting close. But let us not neglect our meeting together. That's why things like Winter Jam will be a blast. Those that can go, you'll have a great time. And you'll be with people who think like you do and feel more about life like you do. You'll hear artists who feel like you do and care about the world like you do because they care about Jesus Christ. They have a relationship with him. Things like we did this past weekend at Valley Springs with the youth weekend. We had a great time. Several of our students participated in things. And it was fun. We had some fun times. It was cool. We had a good time. Everybody had a good time. We ate afterwards on Friday night. We had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Doing those things, encouraging each other. Some of us need to practice being together and not having our infernal phone with us all the time. There's something about being together with others of a like mind. Jesus did say, where 2 or 3 are gathered together, he'll be there also. And that should be our heart's desire, for him to be there. There's something about the power of being in the presence of God. When we read his word, there's power in the presence. God made himself into flesh and came to earth as Jesus Christ to be present with us. You realize that, right? That's why he came here, to be present with us, to have an intimate relationship so we get to know him. So we knew who he was on a first-hand basis. Not over social media where we've never seen him before, but people actually saw him and interacted with him firsthand. That's why he came here. Jesus' name is Emmanuel, which means God with us. Hence, he's always with us if we just invite him. There's power in his presence, y'all. I'm going to give you 2 things to do to move away from social media and into life. If you want to change your relationships. Number one, be present. Be present. Everybody repeat this. Let's try this. Listen to me. I will love people face to face, not just thumb to thumb. Everybody ready? I will love people face to face, not just thumb to thumb. Can we do that? Is that hard? Wouldn't that be a great change? Have friends for real instead of friends over a screen? Yeah. Paul said this in Romans 12, 9 and 10. Don't just pretend to love others. You know when you put a little heart on your media post, you're pretending you love it. You really don't care. Really love them. Hate what's wrong. Hold tightly to what's good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. If we took some of this to heart, gang, it would change everything. For the world, it would change everything. It would. Be a part of people's lives. I mean, let's say your friend's got some bad news. You can do what the world does. Pound out a text. Hey, man, thinking about you. Okay, what are you thinking? I mean, let's be real. What are you thinking? You ever thought about that? I'm thinking about you. Okay. What you thinking? I mean, really. How about instead, we're supposed to be Christians, right? If I took a poll and most of y'all tell me you're Christians, right? How about if we said, hey, dude, I'm praying for you. Praying for God's peace. Praying for his comfort. Praying for your family. Not just, I'm thinking about you. We're supposed to be different. Are we? Or better yet, you could actually use this thing like it was designed before they came out with social media. You could pick it up, and you can actually punch some numbers in the phone, and you can talk to them. And you can tell them, hey, dude, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. I said it. See, I said it. I'm thinking about you. No, I'm praying for you. We're praying for you and your family. Anything I can do. But we don't do that, do we? It's easier to pound out a text. And we could get really radical. We could jump in our cars, those of us who got cars, and we could drive over and see them. Wow. Who would have thought of that, right? Did y'all know there's a time we didn't have cell phones? There's a time when we had a phone hanging on the wall in the kitchen, and that was it. So, yeah. There's something about being present, y'all. You go over and see them, you can walk in and give them a hug. You can be their friend. I remember a friend of mine I used to work with. I'm going to y'all's time up here. I'm sorry. A friend of mine, his dad killed himself. It was a bad situation. I'm talking about he ran from the cops, a whole bunch of stuff up in North Arkansas, up in this part of the country, actually, a little east of here, but up in this part of the country, several years ago. And me and all of our buddies, we were all a group. We were going to go to the funeral. We lived down in central Arkansas at times. It was a 3-hour drive up. Came up to go to the funeral. And we get done, and everybody's like, I mean, they had the funeral. We all kind of walked around. Of course, the family's over here. And we're all kind of on there like, well, what do we do? What do we do? And I walked over, and he looked at me. I didn't say anything. And he started crying. He cried on my shoulder. And he sobbed on my shoulder. Because nobody had showed him. Nobody had hugged him. Everybody had been telling him, hey man, we're thinking about you. Hey man, your family's in our prayers. That's all they'd done. But because I showed some little extra, it mattered. It mattered. So what if we showed a little extra? Number 2, be engaged, y'all. Peter said this in 4:8. Most important of all, continue to show deep love for each other, for love covers a multitude of sins. You can forgive a lot of stuff if you love somebody. And I'm talking all aspects of life. You look about your friends, You won't get mad and unfriend them because they post something you don't like. There's a difference when you love somebody. You really care. If you talk to that person you're talking to like they're the most important person in the room, and this is where I was going a while ago. Because I've watched y'all, and you're all normal. Some of you are actually above average. You're high achievers. Because I've watched you come into different areas, and we have an event, or it's here, different places, and it kills me. I've watched, hey, some of you girls that come to my house, I don't even here now, but some of you come to my house with some of my daughters and hung out, and it kills me how they will come in, they got their phones, and they all sit down, all sitting around together, maybe on the bed or wherever, and they all got their phones. Sitting next to each other, friends who came over to hang out together, talking on their stupid phones. If you hadn't told my voice, it bugs me. I'm like, what's the point? Why didn't y'all stay home and save gas? I mean, it kills me. Because used to, when friends hang out together, all we care about is what each other's going to do, what we're going to do, what we're going to do tomorrow. Let's go do something now. Let's get a plan together. Let's do this and do that. And we care about what each other, what we're going to do, and what we're thinking, and what ideas we had. And it was always, we were getting in trouble and everything else, right? Because we were friends. Nowadays, nobody even talks. The art of communication, y'all, I've hired and fired a lot of people in business. And the art of communication is suffering terribly in this country. And around the world, I'm sure. But I can tell you here, because people don't know how to communicate anymore. It's like, if I were to tell you, oh, you put your phones in a circle in the middle of the floor in here while we have service tonight, some of y'all be getting shakes. You'd be like, oh, God, how long is it going to keep my phone? When will I get my phone back? I mean, some of you'd be that, some of you just about be that bad. Honestly. It's awful. But it's a reality. And we've got to figure a way to overcome that. How many of y'all went in a restaurant? You see a family, nice family, 4 or 5 of them, sitting around a table, could be my family, sitting around a table, and everyone, mom, dad, and all the kids, got their phones out. Waiting on the food to come, got my phones out. Really? There was a time when I was growing up when you didn't bring nothing to the table but yourself and clean hands. Nothing else on the table. No games, no toys, no knives, no pocket, no nothing. I mean, you left everything outside and you come inside the table and you had family dinner. And the family sat around the table. And I can tell you at my house, I'm as guilty as all of you. That's rare anymore. That's rare that the family sits down around the table anymore. That changed life. When the family sits down at the table, there's a closeness, there's an intimacy that develops. There's something about it. Same thing with your friends. There's a new generation today that's got a severe case of FOMO. Is that not fair to say? Do y'all know FOMO's in the dictionary now? It's that big a deal. Y'all know FOMO, of course, some of you got it, right? Fear of missing out. It's so common because of social media. See, it couldn't be because before social media. Because we all pretty much did the same things. We went home, watched a little TV, ate dinner with our families, did our homework, went to bed. There wasn't no sitting on our phones till 3 o'clock in the morning, so we do Snapchat and Instagram and all this stuff, and wasn't none of that. I mean, we turned the TV off at 10 o'clock because it's bedtime. Wasn't no options. That's when we turn the TV off. It's done. Y'all go to bed. Not anymore. Everything has changed. And we wonder why things feel so different in the countries like it is. Again, you're a generation that has a chance to change some of those things. And that's what this is really all about. You're a generation that has a chance to start changing this and turning the tide. The question is, do you want to put something into it to do it? That's really the question. Because I'm going to tell you this. It doesn't matter how many likes you get. It won't matter at all when you stand before Jesus Christ in judgment. How many likes you had, how many friends you had on media. None of that will matter. The only, because you know what, there won't be no, he don't allow phones there. There'll be no phones. You'll stand before him on what you've done, not what you posted. That may be part of it, don't get me wrong with some of you. But you will stand before him and account for your actions. Not for the likes you got and the friends you had on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever you may be on. We'll all be judged. Christians and sinners alike, y'all do know that, right? We will all be judged for our actions. Christians for what they did, and sinners for what they did before they go to hell. We will all be judged. And none of this stuff will matter. But we forget that. We miss that. The only thing that really matters, y'all, is the intimate relationship you had with Jesus Christ here on this earth. That is ultimately the only thing that matters. But I think to develop that, you've got to start having a family relationship and a friend relationship to start understanding what that means. I really do. Because it's kind of foreign to a lot of us. I've taken a lot of time. Sorry, we're going to go into small groups right now and let y'all talk a little bit about this because I think it's a good subject to talk about. We are, what are we looking at here? We got a good guys group.